Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we'll be doing a detailed camera review of the latest flagship device from iQOO, the iQOO 9 Pro. So iQOO 9 Pro packs in a lot of great hardware including the flagship processor, and you also get a flagship level camera experience with a 50 megapixel triple camera setup. So this is really a flagship device in all sense. So how does the camera perform in the flagship category? The device is priced starting 64,990 and it goes up to almost 70,000 rupees in India. So how does the camera perform in this flagship category? So that's what we're going to talk about in this detailed video. So before getting into the video, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. First, let's have a look at the camera hardware. The iQOO 9 Pro comes with a 50 megapixel Samsung GN5 sensor which has f1.8 aperture, a secondary 50 megapixel ultra wide angle lens with a fisheye lens, and it's a 150-degree field of view, and a third 16 megapixel telephoto portrait lens which can do 2.5x optical zoom. The rear camera supports OIS and gimbal stabilization, and for selfies we have a 16 megapixel camera. So let's find out how the camera performance is for the flagship segment. In terms of daylight, the 50 megapixel sensor does a good job in bringing details, and the colors are quite good and offers good details too. The colors are quite good overall and produces mostly natural looking, although at times there is a bit of color boosting. The sharpness levels are very good and this is evident when you pixel peep the images. The dynamic range is once again very good and works pretty well. While the colors are good most of the time, the phone does tend to saturate the blues slightly more at times, especially when it comes to sky colors. Overall, we definitely like the quality of the daylight shots offered with great details and good overall quality. Now moving on to the 50 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. This is a unique lens in terms of flagship experience with a fisheye lens and a 150-degree field of view. It does a good job in maintaining the details and colors, and it is almost as good as the primary sensor, while the sharpness levels once again is good. It can take some really good ultra wide angle images. Now moving on to the telephoto lens, you can take some really good images at 2.5x zoom using the 16 megapixel portrait lens. It captures similar results and details are well done. The images are clean and has minimal noise and does an impressive job once again. Now moving on to the close-up shots. The phone comes with a pretty good imaging capabilities and colors are once again vivid, but it looks good overall, especially for social sharing. The sharpness levels are quite good too. The phone comes with a macro mode and the performance is quite good again. The details are good and so are the colors, and they are mostly natural looking. Next, moving on to the portraits. This is another strength of the camera and it can take portraits in 2.5x and also using the primary 50 megapixel camera. The images on both occasions came out really well and excellent edge detection too. The skin tones are also pretty good. The software does have a tendency to smoothen the skins slightly, but you can always disable it and get sharper portraits. So portraits are once again really well done on the iQOO 9 Pro. Next up, the low light captures. The low light performance is particularly impressive on the iQOO 9 Pro. There is little or no noise in the images and there has been a great effort to reduce it. The images have good details and this is evident when you pixel peep, and this is one of the really good low light photography cameras in this price segment. The phone also has 5-axis video image stabilization or VIS that offers better stability, and this helps in better low light photography. You can also take some really good low light images with a telephoto lens with clear images and lesser noise. iQOO has done an impressive job here. There is also night mode available for the 50 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, and while it is not as good as a primary lens, it still works pretty good than most phones. Now finally, moving on to the selfie camera. The 16 megapixel does produce good selfies. Once again, we like the skin tones of the selfies and colors looks good along with good dynamic range as well. Since selfies are more of a personal choice, you can judge based on the images shown. The phone also has portrait mode for selfies. Here it does an impressive job with portrait selfies. Overall, the selfies are definitely impressive. The phone also does come with several interesting modes like fisheye, crystal ball, asteroid and rabbit hole. This can get you some fun and creative images if implemented properly. Now moving on to the video recording, the phone can record videos in 8K resolution without stabilization, and frankly speaking the 8K is an overkill right now. While the quality is good, it doesn't make really great sense as of now. The phone has 4K at 60 FPS with stabilization being offered. While the quality is good and it gives you clean and sharp images with good details, the stabilization isn't really that smooth for a flagship category, and especially you can see a bit of lag while panning. There is also 4K at 30 FPS, and once again the footage looks good. The VIS or the video image stabilization helps in good stabilization across different resolutions. The phone also supports 1080p at 60 FPS, and here you get the ultra stabilization or the gimbal stabilization, and once again the video quality looks impressive. Here the colors are once again impressive with good sharp video. The 1080p at 30 FPS supports stabilization, and here once again the quality is really good. The colors are good and details are also pretty good for the segment. Now coming to the ultra wide angle camera, it can also do videos in all the formats starting from 4K 60 FPS to 1080p at 30 FPS, which is pretty good implementation, and the quality is once again really good. The phone can also do slow motion and the quality is good, and you can choose between 120 and 240 FPS at 1080p resolution. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the iQOO 9 Pro. It can record videos in 1080p resolution at 30 FPS. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is, and also the audio output from the front camera on the iQOO 9 Pro. So this is the dual video mode on the iQOO 9 Pro. So you can set the video mode. Right now the main screen is with the rear camera, so you can also have it with the selfie camera as well. So you can set this before the video recording will be started. So this is the dual video mode on the iQOO 9 Pro. So that was a detailed camera review of the iQOO 9 Pro. So summing up, the camera on the iQOO 9 Pro has impressed us in multiple areas including daylight, portraits, low light and impressive selfies, along with ultra wide with some really good modes to play around. The camera is truly a deserving one in the flagship segment with gimbal stabilization, but the video stabilization, although looks good, there is room for a bit more fine tuning. If you are looking for a flagship camera experience, then the iQOO 9 Pro ticks all the right boxes for a great camera smartphone. So that was the detailed camera review of the iQOO 9 Pro. So what do you guys think about the iQOO 9 Pro as a flagship camera smartphone? Do share in your thoughts in the comment section. This is Nirmal signing off with the camera review of the iQOO 9 Pro. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.